decided I'd come outside for this broadcast homily. It's beautiful, and you'll hear all the sounds of the garden, the sea, the beauty of God's creation. But anyway, what is it that sets you free today? What is the truth? Jesus is challenged on this truth from those around him who believed that they held and lived by the truth, and yet there was a huge flaw in their truth, and Jesus saw straight through it, and they didn't like it. Their truth relied on keeping God's law and the law of Moses, which added more than just 10 commandments that were given to them on Mount Sinai. There is nothing at all wrong with keeping the law. In fact, society cannot exist without it, and Jesus does not take away anything from the law. He does not challenge it anywhere. He just notes that there is no one who can fully live their life without breaking it in some way. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus tells us that even if we think the negative, we commit the act of defiance against the law. If the only way the way to God is by keeping the law, then no one will ever reach God, and so that is not the truth, because God desperately wants to share heaven with us, so much so that he was prepared to sacrifice his own. By the time Jesus enters the scene, the Pharisees have become slaves to the law. They judge others by their own righteousness to adhere to the law. They set themselves above others and proclaim this way of life as being the only truth. Jesus says, you're wrong. Simple as that, you're wrong. This is not the truth. I am the truth. I am the one who can set you free from the kind of slavery and bring you back to the Father. Jesus is able to see into their hearts, into their thoughts. He knows that they are breaking one of the 10 commandments as they speak, that not to murder. For they are plotting to murder Jesus. They are breaking this commandment just by the process of thought. They will physically go further and break the law in time at the cross. They are then slaves to the end. Jesus points out that God is not a God who allows this. He reminds them that Abraham, whom they claimed as their father, their role model, was tested by God in this way. Yet Abraham did not do as others were doing at that time to the other gods. He did not kill his own son. God saved him, and Abraham was able to live in the truth. And God was sending an scapegoat for all of us who would be freed from our sinful nature. Jesus now stands before them as the truth, as the scapegoat who will set them free from their slavery that they are in. They were subjecting themselves to so much that they didn't have to. Jesus was setting the captives free, and they were the captives if only they would acknowledge it. The question still remains, what is the truth? Well, Jesus gave them the truth, and we are given the same. In fact, it is far easier for us to find it today because we have printed copies of it. It is, as Jesus said, if you hold to my teaching, you are already my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That might seem all too simple, but that's the truth. We do not need to create deeper, more confusing doctrines around this. If we do, we find that we become like the Pharisees, slaves to something else. If you read Jesus' recorded teachings, found in all of our 4 Gospels, and practice them and live by them, we really would find that we live in a very different world to the one we know now. We wouldn't be slaves to the law. We would be free in God's grace. Amen. And just before I close, I just want to show you some of the plants that I planted in last winter that have come up this spring.